this is Heather Sides. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Spokane, Washington, and I come to you every Wednesday night with 3 new projects that I've made and show you how I made them. And then once a month I come to you with some alternate ideas for our monthly paper pumpkin kit, and that's what we're going to do tonight. So let's take a moment to just let everybody get caught up, figure out where I am at. While we're doing that, I'm going to make sure this is coming up on my computer monitor. I can't speak English very well tonight. So that I can see all your comments. And I encourage you guys to comment throughout. Ask questions, answer one another's questions, talk to one another. At the very least, say hello and tell me where you're from. I love to hear you just kind of where my reach is going. So let's see what I've got here. Okay, so it's coming up on my computer. Let's mute it. Perfect. And I see Marcia has joined us. Welcome, Marcia. Looks like we might have a few other people as well that just haven't had a chance to say hello yet. So I'm kind of excited about this month's kit. It's a pretty kit, and I did some fun stuff with it. And you know, something happened that I wanted to make sure I pointed out to you guys. We've all been there where we make a project and we get done with it, and it's just, we're just not sure about it, you know? Maybe it just didn't turn out, it turned out like we intended, but that didn't end up being as nice as we thought it would, or we're thinking it's too heavy, or it's too light, or it's too this, or it's too that. And rather than scrapping it right away, what I would challenge you to do is just set it aside and come back and look at it later. Because I know I haven't been feeling well this last weekend. And so I was kind of scrambling to get my projects done for tonight. And I got done with them, and they felt kind of simple. And, you know, I didn't hate them, but I was kind of on the fence about what I thought of them. And tonight, as I was getting everything together, getting it ready to do this live, I took a peek at those cards again, and I liked them a lot. So, you know, sometimes it's just the mood you're in at the time, whether maybe you're tired, or maybe it didn't turn out quite like you thought, or this or that or the other thing. There's a million reasons why maybe it didn't measure up to what you were expecting. But give it some time, step away from it, and when you come back, you've got a fresh perspective, and you might figure out that you really do like it. You might figure out that you still don't, or you might figure out that no, you still don't like it, but now you know what you need to do to change it to be something that you like. So again, my whole point here is when you create something, if you aren't entirely certain about it, set it aside and come back. Don't make any decisions right then and there about whether or not you're going to scrap it. Set it aside and come back. Because I've proven to myself time and time again that sometimes just, you know, that absence makes the heart grow fonder. And I do like it a lot better when I come back. So that's just my little tip for you guys. Let's go ahead and get this camera turned around. It looks like Robin has joined us. Hello, Robin. So I'm gonna get the camera turned around. I wanna talk a little bit about Celebration. And actually, I don't have to turn the camera around that. I just wanna remind you that right now is Celebration. It's a campaign that we're doing once this year. Last couple of years, we've done it twice. So just beware that this year we're only doing it once. It's January and February. We have about 10 gifts you can choose from for every $50 you spend. A couple of them you have to spend $100, but you can get an unlimited number of the free gifts. However much you spend, for every $50 you can choose a gift. So if you are wanting to take advantage of that, you can do that on my website. You'll see the web address here in a minute. I would love to earn your business. I do encourage you not to put it off until the end of February. Even though special goes until the end of February, don't put it off, because these are limited quantity. So if you have something that you like, if it's a hot item and everybody else is liking it too, if you wait too long, it might not still be available when you come to get it. So I do encourage you to kind of try to shop early if you can. But there's some really fun, everything from packs of designer series paper to stamps, just some really fun, nice gifts that you can earn for free. So remember that that is going on until the end of February. So let's get this camera turned around and talk about Paper Pumpkin. Okay, hang on. Okay, give me just a moment while I turn my camera here. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about next month's Paper Pumpkin for a minute. You have until, oh, my whole little setup here is crooked now, huh? You have until the 10th of the month to sign up for next month's Paper Pumpkin kit. And it looks like it's going to be a really, really cute one. So if you aren't signed up yet, right now is a great time to sign up, because when you sign up for a 3, 6, or 12 month subscription with Paper Pumpkin, you're spending enough to earn free gifts for Celebration. So, okay, I'm crooked. What do I got to do here? Oh, this way, I think. When you okay, let me try this again. When you sign up for those subscriptions, you earn free gifts through Celebration. So January and February is a great time to renew your Paper Pumpkin subscription. So next month's kit, it's Sunshine and Smiles, and it coordinates with our Playing in the Rain bundle. Let me actually pull it up here in the catalog because I want to show you all the different stuff that's available with this bundle. Of course, I need to put my glasses on. But anyway, you can see the stamps and the dies for the moment, and it's just such a cute set. I've used it a few times on my Wednesday night lives, and I really enjoyed playing with it. It's just fun, and it makes me smile, and I love things that are fun and make me smile. So this is the whole kit that you could get. There's these really cute little they're loose daisy embellishments that would be great for shaker cards, which we're making a shaker card tonight, by the way. Not with these, but we are making a shaker card. There's an embossing folder that's like little raindrops. There's the stamp set and the coordinating dies. And all of the dies fit in the mini die cutting machine, if that's what you have. And then this paper. And you can't really see much of the paper in regard to like the papers that have the characters on them, but they are so darn cute. You can kind of see on this little flyer here, like the little bunny guy, and it's a really, really cute set. And this is next month's Paper Pumpkin kit. It coordinates with all of these products. And as an additional add-on, you can order these 2 little dies. Now, I know this one is a frog. It coordinates with a frog stamp. And I don't remember what this die is right here. I guess it'll be a surprise for me too. But anyway, all of these products here will coordinate together. So I'm going to have a lot of fun playing with this next month. So make sure you join me next month when I do this. But also make sure you sign up and get your own kit, because I just think it's adorable and we're going to have a ton of fun with it. So let's go ahead though and get started with this month's kit. This month's kit, let's see if I've got a good picture, because I used up all of the pieces that came in my kit. Let's see here. It came with, I'm trying to find a picture that shows all the pieces that it came with. So it came with these card fronts here, these die cuts, of course, a cute little stamp set, some more just like die cut shapes, some baker's twine, all your adhesives, some banners and some vellum, and a little ink spot. They always come with an ink spot, and if it's your first Paper Pumpkin kit, you also get an acrylic block for your stamps. So you have everything you need except for a pair of scissors. You need to get a pair of scissors. Other than that, you have everything that you need. Now, this month's Paper Pumpkin, oh, is that what that die is, Robin? It's flowers? Okay, all right, that makes sense. Okay, so this is, here, I'll set it down this way so you can see. These are the stamps that were in this month's kit. So you can kind of see the sentiments. You hold the key to my heart. Love is the key. I love you to my Valentine. Then there's some hearts. There's a heart lock. There's a key. There's this kind of fun little decorative circle. And then this tiny little keyhole. So those are all the stamps that came with this month. And then, of course, when you get your kit, it gives you instructions. You get enough supplies to usually make about 9 projects. And most of the time it's cards, but sometimes it's something different. And these were the cards the kit makes this month, and I'll show you mine in just a minute. And it comes with the instructions how to make those cards. So you could make all of them exactly the same if you wanted, just like in the kit, or you can do what I've done and kind of step outside the box a little bit and do some alternative ideas, whatever you're comfortable with, okay? So first I'll show you, these are the cards that the kit was designed to make. So there's this one, and I just did a little key on the inside to give it a little something. And then I, of course, stamped my envelope. The envelope's really cute with the keys on the inside, but I thought they were kind of plain. You know, if it's not open, you don't see anything going on. So I wanted to do something to decorate the envelope a little bit. And then there's this one. And I just decorated the envelope that way. And then finally, there's this one. I did like this one quite a bit. I keep finding little dog hairs in all my projects. And I just stamped the little lock on the inside and stamped some hearts on my envelope. So those are the 3 cards the kit was intended to make. But of course, you can always break free and do your own thing, which is what we're doing tonight. So let's go ahead and get started on our first card. The first one we're going to do is, whoopsie. Little adhesive there. So the first one we're going to do is this one with just a couple simple stamps. The locks kind of intertwined there. So let's get started on this card. We'll start by decorating our envelope. Never a naked envelope. That's what our co-founder Shelley Gardner says. Okay, so the color palette for this kit, by the way, is Mango Melody, Calypso Coral, Pale Papaya, and Fresh Freesia. These are the colors that that were just part of the kit. I didn't add colors this month. And of course, the ink spot that came with the kit was the Fresh Freesia. Now what we're going to do is to decorate this envelope, I'm just going to take the lock, the heart-shaped lock, and I'm going to take some of my Calypso Coral ink and just stamp locks all over that flap in various directions. Oops. I think I need to re-ink some of my pads. What do you think? And you want to make sure that when you're doing this, have them go every different direction, because it'll just give a little bit more of a flow versus looking like a rigid pattern. There we go. I'll clean off my stamp. Okay. Now we'll set the envelope aside and let's get started on our card. This is one of the card bases that came in the kit. And it's the Lovely Lilac, I'm sorry, not Lovely Lilac, but Fresh Freesia. Lovely Lilac, Lovely Lilac is a color that we had a very, very long time ago. And so I'm going to start by folding it. And they do come pre-scored as well. Okay, and let's go ahead and stamp the inside of our card. And then that part is done. This is the one where I just had a couple of intertwining locks. So I just stamped one going one direction, then I stamped the other going the other direction. And because these stamps allow you to see where you're stamping, I was able to make it look like the upper part of the lock, like they intertwined. Okay. I just was cleaning my stamp and I accidentally slid the block right off my ink, or right off my stamp. Okay, now let's go ahead and close that ink pad before I do something dangerous. Hey Nell, welcome. Okay, let's flip to the front of our card. And the first thing I did is I decorated this whole piece and then I put it on my card. So let's move the card out of the way. And first, I took this little strip of vellum. And if you take your bone folder, just go like this a little bit, what it does is it causes your edges to round. It'll just give a little bit of texture when everything's laying down on your card. You can flatten it back out a little bit, but just the fact that it sticks up a little gives it a little more dimension, I guess is what I meant to say. Okay, Normally you want to be really careful with your vellum and where you put adhesive because the adhesive shows right through. But in this case, we're going to be covering it up anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So I'm just laying this here. I wanted it to be centered. It's not quite centered. Well, that's good enough. Good enough. Okay, then, actually what I should have done first is I have this piece of our white crinkle ribbon. I love this ribbon. It's so soft, it's lightweight, it's easy to work with, and what was I gonna say? It's easy to work with, and it colors really, really nicely. You can take any of our blender pens and just go over it like that, and it colors all the way through. You don't even have to color both sides because it's such a thin ribbon that it colors both. The ink bleeds through to the other side, so one coat is plenty to do both sides. And it only takes a minute for it to dry because it is alcohol-based ink, but I like to do it first and then set it aside, and then that way I just don't have to worry about whether or not it's dry. Okay, now let's go ahead and take our locks here. And these two, the little round ones, we're just gonna go ahead and put a little adhesive on here, and we're gonna glue them down. We are gonna put dimensionals on the other one though. So what I did is I kind of put these at a little bit of an angle and tried to make sure that they were, you know, basically the same distance from the sides as one another, and, you know, the same angle for the most part. Then we're gonna take this lock, the little square one, and we're gonna put some dimensionals on the back. And then take those little backs off. And this one, whoops, there's still a back on there. I did slightly higher than the other two. See how I did that? Just slightly higher than the other two, and right in the middle there. Okay, and then the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead, let's go ahead and glue this down onto our card. Now, to put this down, I did use some of my foam adhesive sheets. Looks like this will be a good one to use. And I'm gonna cut this lengthwise so I can spread them apart. It just will end up filling up that space a little bit better when I do it that way. So stick these on here. Okay. We're gonna put this on our card, then we'll finish it off with some ribbons, and it's done. These paper pumpkin ones come together pretty darn quick because all the pieces are pretty much done for us. So get this centered on my card. Make sure it's straight. That's the thing I always have a hard time with, is getting things straight. Yeah, and see, that's crooked. And you have to be careful with the foam adhesive sheets because they are pretty unforgiving. Now I didn't push that down really tight, and that's why I was able to peel it up as easily as I was. So just be very, very careful. The foam adhesive sheets are one of my favorite adhesives, but use it with caution. Let's see here. Okay. I think that's still sort of crooked, and it's gonna bother me. And it's gonna bother me, guys. Okay, so let's just fix this. Now it's crooked the other way. We could spend all night doing this, you guys, but I won't, I promise. Oh my goodness, maybe I will. Maybe I will spend the whole night doing this. Okay, it's crooked, I'm gonna leave it. I'm just gonna be a grown-up about this. Okay, so first I'm gonna take my white, but now Fresh Freesia ribbon, and I'm gonna tie a cute little bow right in the middle, or middle-ish, right? And this probably could have been a little longer, but that's okay. As you can see, this ribbon just ties so nicely. It lays nice and flat. It's not super bulky, but it takes shape pretty well, so I do like it a lot. Okay, so first we have our little bow here, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a glue dot and put it right at the top of that lock. I like to use my take your pick tool for this. And you know what? I think I need like a little dimensional or something under that because I want it to stick up a little bit more. So we're going to do that here in just a moment. And I'm going to stick the bow right down on there where I put that glue dot. Ooh. Oh, now my bow wants to be tricky. Okay. Then the next thing, let's go ahead and put a little dimensional of some sort under that. Where do I have? I have a little piece right here that it's coming right off the edges of my dimensionals. Don't forget that those edges are dimensionals too. So don't waste them and just throw them away. There we go. Now that just sticks up a little bit better. Now here's the next thing I did, and this was kind of fun. I fed my ribbon through like this. Okay, and I liked it having a little bit of dimension to it by sticking up like that. So here's what I did so that it would stay that way. I took my glue dots, take another one here, kind of roll it up, and then I just put it right here. And glued it down. So that way it stays in place. It's not going to pull out. So that's going to stay bubbled up like that. Now I'm going to do it on the other side as well. So put it over here next to the lock. Oops. There. So now we have that bow. Now I have a little bit of this Calypso Coral Baker's Twine. So I'm going to tie another bow with it. And then just try to get it so my bow is, even. My little loops are about the same. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another glue dot. And again, I'm going to kind of roll it up. It's all over the place. And I'm putting it right in the middle of the knot of that purple ribbon. And now I'm going to set this right on top of the glue dot. And trim the twine so that my tails are the same length. Oh, that one is quite a bit longer, isn't it? Okay, there we go. And there's our card. What do you guys think? Here's the inside and our coordinating envelope. Pretty quick and easy, right? Again, the paper pumpkin kits make it so easy. And these kits are great for anybody. They're great for gifts. They're great for someone who, wants to be able to throw cards together quickly and not have to do a whole lot of the creating process because they can do the cards just as Stampin' Up! Originally intended to do them. Or you can branch it out, do a little more, use more embellishments, dress it up, dress it down, whatever you want to do. So they really are great for any level of crafter. Okay, let's see here. Next in line, you guys ready for card number 2? Next, we're going to make a shaker card. Who here likes shaker cards? I love them. I think they're a lot of fun. You get a lot of wow and they're easy to make. So here's my shaker card. See, and it's got the little bits in there on the inside of our card. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll start by stamping our envelope. And for this one, I stamped some keys and some of the little keyholes. So I'm going to do some keys with our Pale Papaya. And again, stamp them all over in various directions. Okay. Then I'm going to close that and I'm going to stamp the keyholes with the Calypso Coral. And I just kind of randomly put them. That one's upside down. Is that upside down? No, that's not upside down. Okay, let's see. And I'm just kind of randomly putting them all over my envelope. Well, not all over the envelope, but all over the flap. You know what I meant. There we go. Yep, I think I definitely need to re-ink some of my ink pads. You know, I've had them now for a couple of years. I have the re-inkers and I haven't re-inked them till now. So I think 2 years without needing to be re-inked is pretty darn good, actually. Okay, so next, let's do any other stamping that we've got to do. Part of that stamping is taking this little strip. What I did, just to show you, this was one of the card bases, and it was the front of the card, and I trimmed off this little bottom piece right here. We're going to put this on the inside of the card, and then, uh-oh, did I forget to put a little, looks like I forgot to put a banner in there, so give me just a second to get one. Okay, so here's my banner, and for this I'm going to use the You Hold the Key to My Heart stamp, and we're going to stamp it with some Calypso Coral. And then just line it up so that you're stamping it right in the middle. There we go. And then, actually, then I need my Pale Papaya, don't I? I'm going to set this right over here so I don't lose it. Now, for this, what I did, this is going to look really ugly at first. Okay, so I just took this circle and I just stamped it repeatedly all over this strip. And I didn't really want any open spots. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just giving some texture to this piece. It doesn't have to look like anything in particular. There, and that's good. So now I'll clean off my stand. I need to grab my trimmer really quick. And I'm just going to cut this in half. I think this strip is about 1 inch wide. Yeah. So I'm going to cut it into 2 half-inch strips. Oops. Okay. Because these are going to go on the inside of our card. And see how rather than it being that just plain strip, it's just got a little bit of something to it. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take our card base. For the card base, I just have 1/2 of a sheet of basic white cardstock. It's 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. And that's your basic card front size. There's of course a lot of different things you can do, but that's just the basic one that probably most cards utilize. Okay. Not getting off to a good start here. It's just not wanting to lay flat. There we go. Just got to show it who's boss, you guys. Let's go ahead and glue those strips to the inside of our card now. Okay. And I like to use my liquid glue for this because then if I need to wiggle them around a little bit, I can. To get them right in place where I want them. I'm getting glue all over everything. So I'm just lining this up to the inside of the card. first one. Let's do the other one now. And line this one up. Oops. Okay. Looks like this one's just a little bit long on the bottom, so we'll just trim that little bit off, which you don't have to do. It's probably not that big of a deal. I'm just kind of a stickler when it comes to that kind of thing. Okay, so that is the inside of our card. Now we're going to work on the shaker part. So the first thing we're going to do is, this is the front of our card, and I have a little piece of, oh, I am missing, I'll have to cut another strip. I am missing a piece, but that's not a big deal. We'll get it in a minute. I'm going to take these little strips right here, and I'm going to glue them to the top and the bottom of this piece. So get my liquid glue, it's right here in front of me. Remember, a little goes a very long way, and especially when you're doing a shaker card, you don't want to end up with a bunch of extra glue seeping onto your plastic of your shaker. So I'm just kind of lining this up a little bit. So maybe there's about 1/8 of an inch margin there. Let's do the bottom one as well, and then we'll trim those off. Okay, there we go. And now, I wish I could see better coming from the other angle, but that's okay. So there's one. Just cutting off all 4 of these edges. This is where I get myself into trouble. It's like, oh, I'm just going to trim this tiny little bit. Just this tiny little bit. Oh, now it's uneven. Now I'm going to trim a tiny little bit in the other direction. Yeah, that doesn't work so well sometimes. Okay, so now I have a piece of these are our window sheets. And this one's kind of dirty and yucky. Just probably because I had glue on my fingers when I was cutting it and stuff. So I just take my sleeve and I wipe it down a little bit just to try to get off what I can. Sometimes maybe taking like a window sheet, like a Windex sheet or something like that to it can clean it off just like you were cleaning glass. Yeah, because there's some stuff there and you do want to get that off. You don't want that to be part of the view with your shaker, right? Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this piece on. This is the back side of my piece, and I'm going to glue the window sheet on there just like that. So I'm going to put a little adhesive right there along the top. I'm going to put some here and here, just so that my window sheet sticks down really nice. There we go. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my foam adhesive strips. These are, in my mind, they're a must-have for making, oh, I'm glad you like this set. These are almost essential for making shaker cards. They make it so simple. I mean, you can use any kind of foam adhesive to prop it up, but these are so simple that it's like, why make things more difficult for yourself if you don't have to, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just cutting them this way. You want to make sure that each strip butts up to the last one though, because you don't want to leave an opening for all your little shaker bits to get out. Okay. And see how I'm outlining the shape that's in there, if you guys can see that. If you can't see that, let me know. I'll put a different color under it so it shows a little bit better. Okay, next, let's see. We're gonna finish this. But see how easy it is with this adhesive? And you just get the strips the size you need. And then if you don't use the whole strip, you put it back on the little sheet and you've got it for the next time. And when you're doing circles, like this part of the keyhole, or just if your shaker window is a circle, see how easy this shapes around the circle, so that you have a continuous line of the foam so that your shaker bits don't get out. Okay. There we go. So you can see I've outlined, I tried to keep it away from the edge a little bit, so because you don't want it to show through the front because it's so close to the edge, but I've outlined our window. So now let's put these away. And I'm gonna get that other little strip I need. Give me just a second here. Okay, I thought I had more of that darker color and I don't, but that's okay. I'll just use a regular piece of my pale papaya. I actually have this piece that I'd already die cut out for something else, and it probably will fit perfect, so I don't even have to worry about coloring it. All right, that works. That works. I'll show you a little trick though. Let's make it just a little bit darker, okay? All I'm doing is I'm taking my dark pale papaya Stampin' Blend. I'm gonna color it in really quick. Doesn't take long if you use the brush tip. And it blends so nicely so you don't really end up with the streaks from the pen. And by using the same color of marker as you do for the cardstock, once that sinks in a little bit, you're gonna have just a little bit deeper color. Okay, that'll give us just a little bit darker background here behind it, like that. Okay, next, what we're gonna do is I have these, they're called Effervescent Elements. I love these, I think they're so beautiful. Aren't those pretty? And they're just little crystal, like opalescent little balls. They remind me of little tiny bubbles. I love these, I think they're so pretty. But let me tell you, they're all round. So there is some potential. Be very, very careful, because if they spill, they're going everywhere, everywhere. So now we're just gonna pour a little bit in here. Okay. That might be a little bit more than what I want, maybe. Let's just, okay. I didn't get that much out, but a little bit. See how these little balls are going everywhere? And there's some really tiny ones too, so you do want to be careful with this. So put your lid on it as soon as you're done. Now we're going to go ahead and pull up the release tape. Don't pull up the release tape until you're ready to do this step, until you've already poured your little shaker bits in, because what'll happen if you have already taken the back off and you pour your little adhesive bits in, or your little shaker bits in, they all stick to the adhesive, and then it's kind of a pain to get it off. Okay, just trying to get my backs off here. Okay, now I'm going to take the piece that we colored, and I'm just going to lay it right over that keyhole. Move my garbage out of the way. And it doesn't, so you can see it's kind of crooked on there. It doesn't matter because it doesn't show. But see, look at that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, you know what, let's go ahead and glue this down onto our card. Now the next thing I'm going to do is, you want to realize that the various foam adhesives that we carry, whether they're dimensionals, the foam adhesive sheets, the foam adhesive strips, they have varying heights to them or thicknesses to them. They aren't always the same. So I recommend whatever you've used to create your window as adhesive, as your foam, use that to mount the other pieces so that they are all the same height. So I'm going to take some more of this. And I'm just going to go around all 4 edges. Just a little bit more. Put back what I didn't use. Marcia says she loves shaker cards. I do too, and they're so simple. I had never made one for a really, really long time. I hadn't made one. And then when I learned how easy they are, I was like, oh yeah, I'm making these all the time. So now I'm pulling off the release tape from those strips that I just put on the back. Now, be careful laying this down. You want to try to center it top to bottom. As best you can, anyway. Okay, now we've got our little label that we did. And then I've got a key, and I've got some stuff for a bow. So, let's take the key, and for the key, I just glued it directly onto my plastic window sheet. I use my liquid glue, but use it very, very sparingly because again, you don't want it to gush out and get all over your plastic. And so I just put it in here so it's kind of roughly the center of the circle. Just like that. And then I have a strip of our baker's twine that came in the kit. What I'm going to do is, this is just one long strip folded in half. I want to make a double bow. So I'm going to go like this. So this one needs to be just a tad bit bigger. Oops. And then where this one is looped, I'll go ahead and cut it open. And I want my tails to be about the same length. So there we go. Let's go ahead and glue this. We're going to glue it right on to our key with a glue dot. And I'm going to put it right about, let's put it right about there. I don't want it right at the top. I want it kind of off to an angle just a little bit. And then I'm going to kind of fluff out my little loops. This is why I like to do double bows. It just gives it a little bit more body, I think. There we go. And then we're gonna glue this guy on. There we go. And that's card number 2, our little shaker card. What do you guys think of that one? Good, I'm glad this showed you how to do it. Now, like I said, they're super easy once you see how to do it. They are a bit intimidating before you know, but once you know, they're super easy. Okay, so let's clean up this mess a little bit. We'll get going on card number 3. A friend and I were just talking yesterday about how she was saying, you know, once she gets the big crafter math going on. Robin, Lucy just climbed up on the couch to take a nap. In a minute, remind me to tell you a really funny story about her. But anyway, my friend was saying how she can't create when there's a huge mess. I have to start with a clean space, but it doesn't bother me if it starts getting everything everywhere as I'm going. That I do fine. But if it's messy to start with, I just can't. Okay, so my funny story about Lucy. Last night, on Sundays, I go out and spend the afternoon with my parents. We watch a movie and that kind of thing. And they have a corgi that Lucy always tries to play with, but she tries to play too rough, and then the corgi gets mad, and it's a thing. But anyway, when we come home on Sunday nights, she is just absolutely beat. My parents also live out in the country, so she gets to go outside and run. And so we come home and she's totally exhausted. So last night I was working on cards, and I realized I didn't know where she was. And so I go looking for her. It was the funniest thing. She sleeps with me at night, but normally my door to my bedroom is closed during the day because she tends to go in there and take my pillows. So I've been closing it. Well, she's been really good lately, so I left the door open. And when I couldn't find her and I went looking around for her, she had put herself to bed and she was asleep on my bed. It was the cutest thing. And she's never done that before. Usually she gets up on the couch or whatever. So it was really cute. Okay, so our last card tonight, we're going to use the gingham embossing folder. If you could only get one embossing folder, I would recommend this one because it is a pattern that I've seen it on cards that are dressed up a little bit fancier, and I've seen it on a little bit more casual cards. But this works really well, and it just adds a little texture and dimension to your card when you use an embossing folder for like a background. But if you could only get one, I really do recommend this one. I like it a lot. So here's the card we're going to make. Stamped the envelope, and there's our card. And you see I used the embossing folder on the vellum, the little vellum piece that's back there. And there's the inside. So let's get started on our card. We'll start with our envelope. And I am, again, going to use the heart lock, and we're going to stamp with fresh freesia this time. Stamping all over the place in different directions. There we go. Okay, so that one is done. Let's see, what did I do on the inside? Okay, let's stamp that inside piece while we're here. So it's just a piece of basic white cardstock. And I just stamped one little lock in the corner. You know what? Let's do all of our stamping while we have the ink out. So I've got that little banner, and I use the stamp that says "Love is the Key." And just kind of line it up in the middle there. There we go. And now we can put the ink pad away, because now it's just a matter of putting stuff together. So I'm making a basic card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. That was very sweet last night, Robin, when she did that. It was just so darn cute, especially because, I don't know if I've told you guys this, but when I moved into this place, I really didn't have much in the way of furniture. I had a couple couches, but that was it. And so what I did is I got a couple of twin beds, one for me and one for my son, off of Facebook Marketplace. and, you know, went with that. So Lucy by herself takes up the twin size bed. So the two of us sleeping in it is actually rather humorous. Fortunately, I have a dog that likes to spoon. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp this to the inside of my card. Oops. There we go. Okay. Now here is a circle. This die cut circle actually came in the kit, but then I ran it through my embossing machine with that gingham embossing folder. And then these are just pieces of the card front that I cut up to do something decorative with it. And we can go ahead and glue this down now. A little adhesive hanging over the edge, so I'm just folding it back. There we go. Now for these parts, what I did is I took the circle and I went ahead and glued it to the front. And again, because I'm going to have something covering it, I don't have to worry about my adhesive showing. Oops, I want it to go that way. There we go. Whoop. So I might want to put a little more adhesive. It doesn't seem to be sticking all that well. There we go. Now it's crooked, so I want to just straighten it out. Okay. Now this piece I'm going to put on at an angle. So again, just a little bit of adhesive. And let's see, about like that. Then I'm going to take, let's see, I have a few die cuts and a little bit of ribbon. I have some of my white crinkle ribbon. I also have a heart-shaped lock and a key. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to glue these together so that it looked like, you know, they went together as a set. So what I'm going to do first is take a glue dot. I couldn't figure out where they were. They were right in front of me. And let's see. Right about there, like that. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back. Now that might be a little bit big. Yeah, that's going to show. So I'm going to cut that down. Right there. Oops. A little close to the edge. Gosh, I keep doing that. There we go. That's better. And then I do want to put a little bit right here. I want to make sure it doesn't show through the front. It does kind of show through the front. So I'm going to cut this down a little bit more. Does that show? I forgot there's going to be some ribbon there too to kind of cover it up a little bit. Let's get some little pieces I've cut off here. Just to, you know, get a little bit of foam under these extra pieces right there. Okay, I think that's probably good. Oops. I think it might be 8,000 degrees in my house right now. Oh, that's showing a little bit, isn't it? Let's
trim this down because it's showing. If there's anything I can possibly do to make things a little bit more complicated, you can trust me to find a way to do that. I think I want to put one right there too. One of those itty bitty ones. There we go. Okay. And now I just kind of put it at an angle like this. And I have my Love is the Key banner. We're going to put some dimensionals on the back of that. Yes, I definitely do need to get a bigger bed. It's just kind of a matter of, you know, waiting for finances to come through to be able to do that. And in the meantime, I can be patient and snuggle my dog. Okay, so let's put this right about here. Make sure that it's straight. Now let's embellish this guy. First, we're going to take our white crinkle ribbon. We're going to tie a little bow. If you haven't heard me mention this before, when you are doing ribbon, you have a greater chance of ending up with a good bow if you have a little bit of extra ribbon to work with. So, you know, it's nice to use it sparingly and try to not waste it, but you end up wasting it if it's not long enough, or if you don't like the bow and how it turned out, or, you know, whatever. So give yourself permission to use a little extra ribbon. You can trim it down, trim down the tails if it's too long, but then that way you can assure yourself that you've got a better chance of tying a good bow. So I'm just kind of messing with this right now, getting my little loops to be about the same size. It's kind of laying a little bit funny after I went on and on about how this ribbon is so great for bows, and then I can't tie a bow with it tonight. And I put my little finger through the loops like that to just kind of fluff them up a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to take a glue dot. I'm going to put it right up here, right there, and the center of my bow. It's going to go right there. And let's go ahead and trim the bow a little bit. Okay. You know what I forgot to do, you guys? I totally forgot to stamp the background of the card. Wonder how easily I could lift this up and do that. Oh, look at that. It's coming right up. Except for where I have a couple of the foam adhesive pieces, but that's easy to replace. So let's do that real quick. So for this, I'm using my Fresh Freesia. And again, the heart-shaped lock. And I have these little dimensional pieces stuck to me. And I'm just stamping these all over the card. A little color on color. Now, let's see, where do I still need to put a little bit of that foam adhesive? Let's put the ink pad away. Little pieces of foam adhesive. I'm going to do it here at the top of my That's probably sufficient, to be honest. So now let's just glue everything back down. There. Easy fix. And there we go. Did I do the inside? I did the inside. So card number 3 is done. See, they were all pretty quick and easy tonight, weren't they? But they usually are with Paper Pumpkin. So let's clean up the mess here. We'll take another peek at the cards that we made. Just kind of, oh, and I have a few extras that I made too that I want to show you. So clean up after myself here. If you enjoyed what you saw tonight, and I sure hope you did, I would love it if you give me likes or thumbs up. If you're watching this on a replay, still likes and thumbs up are great. What really helps me a lot is if you share the video. You just never know who on your Facebook feed might enjoy something like this. And I really do hope you enjoyed it as well. If you would like to purchase any of the supplies that I used, oh, wait. Stop that. Stop. Okay. If you would like to order any of the supplies that I used with my kit tonight, or to sign up for the next Paper Pumpkin kit, oh, thank you, Marcia. You can shop on my online website at heathersides.stampinup.net. Don't forget about Celebration and all the free gifts you can earn. If you would use this host code, that would help me a lot. If your order is under $150. That's what helps me to continue to provide the videos for free and prizes and things like that. But if your order is over $150, which often happens, especially during Celebration, don't use the host code, because you will have some free gifts coming to you for your order from Stampin' Up! In addition to your Celebration gifts. I want to make sure that you're the one who receives them. And then, of course, as always, if you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, anything you'd like to see, ask me to show in a video, you can email me at stamphappenings@gmail.com, or you can send me a message here on Facebook. So, okay, to recap the cards we made together tonight, we did this guy. We did our lovely little shaker card. And then we also did this one with the locks and the ribbon that sticks up. And then, of course, there were the 3 cards that Stampin' Up! Designed for us to make. I'm trying to make sure, yes, this was one of the original ones that Stampin' Up! Designed, as well as that one. And then this one as well. I thought I made 3 extra cards, but I guess maybe I only made 2. I could have sworn I made 3 extras. Oh, well, okay. So, maybe, no, I don't know what I'm talking about, I guess. That's so weird. I could have sworn I made 3 extras. Anyway, okay, so the extra ones that I made, I took this one and I used our Quatrefoil embossing folder to get that little background. And there's the inside of my card, and of course my envelope. And then I also did this one. I kind of liked how this one turned out. Stamped my envelope with the keys, and then here's the card. Look at all that bow action going on. And the inside. So you can see you can do quite a bit with your Paper Pumpkin kit. And like I said, you can do what Stampin' Up! Has designed for you, or you can think outside the box and do your own thing, whatever you enjoy doing. It's also fun to get kits and give to a friend and then get together and do them together. You know, you've got all the supplies that you need right there, so you don't have to worry about, oh, do we have this? Do we have that? You buy your kits and you've got everything that you need. So I hope you guys, again, had a great time next month. I can't wait to see what I come up with that set that's coming out, because I really do like the coordinating set that's in the January through April mini catalog. So we'll be doing this next month. But as always, I will be back here on Wednesday, every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I come with 3 new projects for you to create. So have a great next couple days, and hopefully I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Bye-bye.